Hey y'all, MyriaCom here again. Thank you for being here to listen to me ramble about something. It's pretty late, so I probably shouldn't be doing a recording right now, but I did think of something that I really do want to talk about, so I'm just gonna do a quick one, hopefully. Either that, or I'm gonna give up on this and write it down and record tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But here is my idea. So, I don't remember if I have mentioned this in a previous recording, but I have a master's degree in popular culture studies. And, didn't know that was a possibility before I actually got the degree, so that's kind of cool. But, I have always been really good at reading pop culture. I spent a lot of time reading when I was a child, so and when I say reading pop culture, I mean analyzing and understanding pop culture. Analyzing things and critiquing things, even things I am a fan of, is one of my favorite things to do. So, I haven't done it a lot recently because adult life has made that very difficult. And another reason I haven't done it a lot recently is that I have noticed a trend, and maybe this existed previously too, and it's just more obvious now because of the internet and things like that. But I have noticed a trend of people, the general population, just kind of lacking decent media literacy. And what I mean by that is being unable to read the subtext in popular culture. This extends further to things like the news and things like that, but I'm going to focus on pop culture here. It has broader implications for other things in life, but I'm going to focus on pop culture. So, one very obvious to me at least, example of this that I can think of in relatively recent memory is the show The Boys. Now, I'm not going to talk about the comics because I haven't read the comics. I am aware of the comics and I have done some research on the comics, but I haven't actually read them. I have seen what exists of the television show or streaming show, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what we call it now. Do we call it TV still? I don't know. Anyway, the show. I have seen the show, and the thing that I noticed with that show, there are a lot of things you could talk about in terms of pop culture, analysis of pop culture, etc. and so forth with that show. But the obvious thing to me that showed that people really seriously lack media literacy in the world we currently live in is Homelander. Now, this isn't going to mean anything to you if you haven't seen the show, and I apologize. But maybe it will be interesting to you. Homelander is a Superman kind of character, except not altruistic. He's very selfish, and for the beginning of the show is very much I'm just gonna do what people tell me to do, and I don't care who I hurt. And then later in the show, it's no, I want what I want, and I'm going to hurt people to get that, etc. and so forth. It has been a little bit since I've watched it, so I can't remember some specifics, but that is basically the gist of his character. There's a lot of other stuff, but that's the gist of it, okay? We're gonna just be kind of surface level here. The thing that made me really realize that people lack media literacy is the number of people online, and it's mostly a certain kind of person, but I'm just gonna not go into that. Maybe I will. We'll see. The number of people online who think Homelander is a hero and think Homelander is a great guy and we should all be rooting for him. It is very obvious from the show that we should not be rooting for him. He is a villain. He is not... there really aren't any quote-unquote real heroes in this show, except for maybe Starlight. But I mean, she's a flawed hero, but I think she is like a hero, generally speaking. And then the main character's name just suddenly escaped my brain. The guy without powers. I can't remember his name suddenly. Wow. Anyway, he is also like a hero, quote unquote, in the show. Everyone in the show is flawed. Even the people who are like the role models are very flawed. So, I mean, no one is perfect. And that's kind of the point. But anyway, Homelander is very obviously not the person we are supposed to be rooting for. I don't even think that is subtext in the show, really. It's pretty obvious. He just kills people willy-nilly. It's obvious we are not supposed to like him, but there are a number of people online who do like him. There are a number of people who think he is great and perfect, and that is exactly what our leaders should be aspiring to. And not only is that horrifying, but it's like an obvious lack of understanding of what the show is trying to tell you. Because the show is trying to tell you, this is not good, this is not the kind of person you should be following. Like, if it was, like, early on in the show where the media in universe is propping him up as this hero who is perfect and does no wrong and does not hurt people and all of this stuff. Like, that is the image that the in-universe news and things like that is trying to sell of him and other heroes. And, I mean, if you lived in that universe, I could maybe believe you thinking it's fine. The first time he kills someone in front of people, I can see people thinking that's probably normal and what needed to happen because he is this good guy and they've, the media in that universe has been telling people that he is perfect and good and can do no wrong. However, as viewers of a show that is, and we are not a part of that universe, we see from the get-go that he is not a good person, that he is bad, he is very selfish, he is not altruistic, he does not really care about people without powers. He is a bad person, and we are not supposed to like him. So, that is an example of people who are watching the show totally missing the point and taking the exact wrong idea out of it. Does this matter? Yes, I think this very much matters because we have people in real life who portray themselves, or the news portrays, as like good people who are doing good things, despite the fact that behind the scenes, or, if you do the tiniest bit of digging, you find out that they are not good people, and they are doing shady things behind the scenes, and they are very underhanded. They have gotten to wherever they have gotten in life by stepping on other people and hurting other people along the way. And these are not people we should be propping up. These are not people we should be aspiring to be like. Because just because they have attained wealth and power doesn't mean they are good people. If they have attained that wealth and power through underhanded or selfish means by hurting other people, that is not good and is not what we should be wanting to do. If you cannot tell, like, by watching a show like The Boys, that a character like Homelander is not supposed to be trusted, and is not supposed to be someone we want to be, and is not supposed to be someone we admire, then you're gonna have problems in real life when a person just like that pops up and you just can't, then you can't tell that they're a bad person. Another example that is maybe even more niche. I don't know. I think this show is popular. I came to it very late, so I don't know if it is still popular, but I assume it is. So Hazbin Hotel is an adult cartoon that is like a musical sort of. There's music in every episode and several songs in every episode, so I'm gonna call it that. I just recently started watching it. I was not really that interested in it before. I was like, whatever, it's whatever. I didn't know it was a musical, and I am kind of a sucker for good musicals, and the music in this is really freaking good. So, and the story is good too. And I didn't expect to like it that much, so I'm kind of surprised that I do. But anyway, the person who introduced me to Hazbin Hotel, who like actually got me to start watching it, sends me memes a lot from the show and things like that. And they send me memes about Vox a lot, and Vox is one of the villains of the show. There are a few. I mean, it's a show about demons in hell trying to. So the daughter. Very, very brief overview in case you haven't seen it. The daughter of Lucifer and Lilith is trying to redeem sinners in hell so that they can go to heaven. Ta-da. That is a very, very brief overview. It does not encompass all of the greatness of the show, but that's fine. Vox is one of the villains of the show. There are multiple villains, again, since it takes place mostly in hell, and they're talking about sinners and demons and stuff. A lot of people are not great, but he is like one of the main villains who, again, he is like a very, very selfish character. It is made obvious multiple times throughout the show that like he only partners with people to use them, and he doesn't care about them beyond that. He literally just uses them to get power and fame and etc. When he was alive, he killed a bunch of people just to move up. And like move up in his career and move up in terms of fame and money and such. So like, he does not care about other people, he doesn't care about other sinners, he doesn't care about anyone but himself. That's all he cares about. It's very obvious. There are multiple songs where he, like, literally says, it's just about me, and then realizes that his partners are there, and he's like, oh, never mind, I meant us, or whatever. There are songs where he, like, says, I won't need them anymore when I get to where I'm trying to go, and, you know, all of this crap. He's a very selfish person who only cares about himself and nothing else. However, lots of people on the internet, and I mean, this is just a thing that's going to happen, but lots of people on the internet seem to like him. Lots of people on the internet seem to think I mean, there are a ton of memes about him, and that's frustrating to me. There are a ton of memes about him that are like, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, because there's a point in the show where, like, he kind of feels sorry for himself. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, just be a bastard, basically. And I'm like, no, because I don't like him. He's not supposed to be someone we want to be like. He's a bastard. He hates everyone else. He only cares about himself. He will literally murder people if they are in his way. Like, why is this a thing? And on top of that, lots of people, like, ship him with a very obviously asexual character, but whatever. That's a whole other thing. And I'm just like, are people actually liking him as a character? Is this a thing? Like, because you're not supposed to like him. You can think he is a well-written character, and you can like his songs and stuff, but you shouldn't like his personality. You shouldn't like him as a person. He is a selfish prick. You should not aspire to be like him. You should not think that he's just trying to get places. You should dislike him because there's like literally, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it, but like he's trying to like destroy everything by the end of the second season, so it's like whatever. If he can't get what he wants to destroy everything. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. You should not like this character. You should think he's an asshole. And it's just, I'm just constantly like, wait, why do you like him? Like, I don't know. The person who introduced me to the show sent me a meme about him earlier today, and I was just like, I don't like this meme because I don't like him. I don't want to be like him, so I'm not gonna take advice from a meme using him as the center of it. Like, no. I don't like it. And I'm just like a little bit shocked and confused because I'm like, okay, why do you keep sending me memes about this character that is a terrible person? Why? I am so confused. It is very jarring to me because, like, I generally would have thought that she understands, has a little bit better media literacy than that, so I'm just confused. I don't know. It's like weird to me. I would send memes about characters I like, not weird characters who I think should probably die. But anyway, it's just, like I said, this has like real world implications. If you can't understand the subtext or even like obvious messages that media like pop culture is trying to send, then you're going to struggle with understanding things happening in the world around you. You're going to struggle to understand that, oh, this person is a manipulative bastard and I shouldn't like them when you see them on TV spinning whatever is happening. Just going to throw something random out there. Someone constantly claiming they are exonerated from a crime they have clearly committed. I don't know who that could be. Could be anybody. Someone who constantly calls any accusation against them a hoax. Can every single accusation against a single person possibly be a hoax? I mean, they can spin it that way, and if you lack understanding and lack the ability to think critically about situations, you might just believe that all the time. But you shouldn't. You should think a little bit more critically about stuff. And that is one thing where I'm like, yeah, I have a master's degree in popular culture studies, so I have like training to think critically about things, but I was thinking critically about popular culture even before that. I critique things I like all the time. And like, back when I was still talking to my parents, that's one of the things they like always got mad at me about is like, why do you just hate everything? And I'm like, I don't hate everything. I can critique something and still absolutely love it. I'm trying to think of a good example. Oh my god, what is a good example? Why can I not think of anything right now? I can't. It's unfortunate. I will use this as an example. The Lord of the Rings movies came out in the early 2000s, and they are still freaking phenomenal. However, I can still critique them. I can still look at them and say, well, it's kind of annoying that, for example, they like did some stuff out of order in the movie compared to how the book is. It's a little bit annoying. I still really like the movies, and I think that they are great. They are like masterpieces for their time. And I can definitely critique the Hobbit movies against the Lord of the Rings movies because the Hobbit movies came out far later in time than the Lord of the Rings movies, and everything about the Hobbit movies is worse. Except for maybe the music. Because the music is, done by the same guy. And, yeah. But, like, the CG is shit in the Hobbit movies. So much of what they did with, like, trying to incorporate stuff from the Silmarillion and the Lost Tales and, etc., all the extraneous stuff, they just didn't do a great job. It's not the Lost Tales, it's the appendices of the Lord of the Rings books, sorry. But so much of that stuff that they tried to incorporate, it was just not done well. Legolas's character made, not a lot of sense. The Um, and when I say his character made not a lot of sense, he's just like a completely different character than he is in The Lord of the Rings, and it doesn't make sense because they don't explain in any way, like, why he's so much more laid back and cool in The Lord of the Rings than he is in the Hobbit movies. So, whatever. Anyway, like, that one I can critique, and like there are still things about the Hobbit movies that I like. I just don't like most of them. um, but like I can critique things I like all the time. It's okay. It's fine. I can. Yeah, I do it a lot. It's critiquing things is fun. Maybe I'm weird. But it's just. Sorry, I got off on a tangent because it is late. And then this is why I should start scripting my stuff. But the point being, like, critiquing popular culture is healthy and good to do, and it is something I think people should do more. Especially in a world where so much of our pop culture lately, I mean, there's a lot of pop culture now, and I think there's a lot more than like when I was growing up, even because you just have access to more things, and unfortunately, a lot of it is not very good. But part of the reason it's not very good is because people are not very critical of it. Um, and when I say that, I mean, like, do we really need to keep doing more Jurassic Park movies? Do we really need to keep doing more? I don't know. There's probably other things. Fast and the Furious movies? Like, how many of those do we need? What changes in them? Nothing. Why do we need to keep doing them? Great question. I don't know. Like, I'm sure they serve some sort of rhetorical purpose. I just don't know what that purpose is. How many times can you do a movie about people racing things and causing a ton of explosions? I'm probably not giving it a fair shake, but I'm just seriously wondering how many of those do we need? That is what I am wondering. And the more sequels to things you get, you generally like it is less about the original purpose, the original message that the first movie or first couple of movies was trying to send, and more just about let's just keep churning out these babies because people like it. And that's not you get away from the point when that keeps happening. It's like the oversaturation of Marvel superhero stuff. Eventually, like, I feel like when everything ended with the fourth Avengers movie, that was great, and that was a good ending, and we kind of didn't need to keep going, but they kept going with stuff. Is some of the stuff that has come after good? Yes. But is all of it good? No. And when you're just continuing to do stuff just to make more of it, just to make money, that is when you get into issues. Anyway, I'm sorry, I have gotten off of the topic, and the topic being a lack of media literacy. I guess I was sort of still on topic because the reason I got into that whole let's stop churning out crap point was to say that is allowed to happen because people stop being critical of the things they are consuming, and they just consume it. And they don't think about whether what they are consuming is good or is sending a meaningful message. I'm not even going to say a good message. A meaningful message is what I'm going to say. Because I think that is what we should be focused on. We should also, again, be focused on how the things we are consuming relate to our everyday lives, and how being critical of the things we consume can help us be critical of things occurring in our everyday lives as well. So, I sort of think this is kind of what I'm gonna stop saying sort of and kind of. I don't need to hedge my point so much. I am giving a talk at Nerd Night in the city I live in a couple of it's next month now because it is March now and next wow. Anyway, that is creeping up on me. In April, which is next month. Holy cow. And that's kind of what I think I'm going to talk about is media literacy and why it's important. I need to do a little bit of research before I actually do a presentation on it, but hopefully this month will calm down a little bit at work so that I have more time to do that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking of talking about. And maybe this is preamble to that. I don't know. But yeah. This is something I could talk about more. I could do some critiques of various forms of popular culture. If that is something y'all would be interested in, just let me know. I was, for a while there, doing, like, critiques and review of anime back when I was in my master's program, and that was a while ago, so I'm a little out of touch with anime right now, but I could do some critiques of stuff I've watched in the past. I could critique if there's something specific you would like to hear me talk about. In terms of pop culture critique, let me know. Movies or shows or music would be the easiest things for me to talk about, but I am willing to do more. Just let me know. This has been my Riacom, talking about why media literacy is important and why it is sad that we seem to generally be lacking it as a general populace these days. And I will try and chat at you again soon. Bye.